Hi, and welcome back to another podcast in the series Big Country Conversations. And this, friends, is going to be, I think, a very fun conversation because we have none other than Austin Allsup with us today. Austin, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. Man, sir, that kills.
I know. I shouldn't have done that.
Just call me Danny.
Well,
Just sir, man, that hurts.
We got these young boys, and I say young, they're in their mid-20s. I'm in my early 40s now.
I'm in my early 60s now, brother.
Well, you qualify as sir.
Oh, that hurts. Okay, you're doing Big Time Bash in Baird, Texas. It's I want to get that for everybody to understand.
Start off with that.
Well, I really want to head somewhere else pretty quick, but you're doing this big, huge deal, and we're going to talk a lot about it.
Yeah.
That's Saturday, October the 18th. All day. Is it all day kind of a deal?
It's all day, noon to midnight. 3 stages.
So I appreciate you saying that. You think I could stay up till midnight?
I mean, absolutely. I was just saying you deserve respect. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So I'm thinking, who is this guy, Austin Allsup? And you are a recording artist. You tour. You're a singer. And you also, now coming up on 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, you were on The Voice.
Yeah.
And you made the top 10.
Yeah.
You were on Blake Shelton's team. That was in the heyday of The Voice because you had Blake Shelton. You had Levine.
Yep. It was a big time, especially that year. I can remember because it was so, it was a politically fueled year. That was when Trump was running. And so we're on NBC and the debates air as soon as our show's over.
You had a lot of eyes on y'all.
So we had a lot of eyes. Yeah. And it was a lot of pressure. They had a lot of big guests on that year. And
I watched your audition. You did a Rolling Stone song.
Yeah. I love the Stones.
It was good too.
Thanks. You know, I don't sing it that way anymore. I stay close to that version because I do enjoy it. But I can remember our vocal coach, you know, and I didn't have a lot of coaching growing up in my singing career. So she's like, how's your falsetto, you know? So she made me sing that whole first verse kind of like in a falsetto. She was like, I think it'd be good to show your range. I wasn't very comfortable. No. But then
sounded comfortable. Sounded fine.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Listening back now, I can hear the kind of timidness there, you know. But you know, they make you step out of your comfort zone, and I can appreciate a lot of things from that show.
Yeah, it was Wild Horses.
Wild Horses.
And Blake Shelton turned around. You're on his team, and you did really well, top 10. And so I'm watching that, and I see this gentleman flash on the screen standing over to the side like they do on The Voice.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, wait a second.
How they clip back and show your family and friends.
Yeah. And I think that guy looks very familiar. Wait a second. And it turns out that was your dad. And your dad is Tommy Allsup. Yeah. Who not long after that taping passed away.
He sure did.
Yeah. And
my dad's was a very successful and respected
Oklahoma
Music Hall of Fame, and part of many recordings that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Country Music Hall of Fame. He's a Grammy winner. He
produced for Willie Nelson.
He did.
Buzzed with Willie Nelson.
And his biggest tie to us out here in the Big Country would probably be to a man named Buddy Holly from Lubbock.
He was in Buddy Holly's band.
He was.
In fact, let's get to the big moment. And I so appreciate you're a good. I don't know you at all. You're a good guy because I was fanboying all over you earlier when I realized the connection and realized the story.
When I knew it wasn't over me, it's over Dad.
Well,
as well it should be, and I still fanboy to this day, hearing stories I didn't even know.
1959, he's on Buddy Holly's plane with Buddy. Your dad is with Buddy Holly and Richie Valens with Big Popper, but Richie Valens once on the plane. And you obviously know the story, but they flipped a coin, and your dad lost and gave his seat on the plane to Richie Valens, and that's the night the music died.
Yeah,
plane crashes. your dad lost the coin flip,
Yeah.
but won his life.
That's right.
That's got to be a weird legacy in a way.
You know, it's one of the few things we'd never really talked about in depth. And I think it was because that was always the reoccurring question with journalists, interviews, anything. It was always at the top of the list, you know. And of course, Dad just wanted to talk about Bob Wills and Western swing, and he loved that. I think he didn't really know how to take it, you know, just how do you live with it for a while, you know. I don't know that him and Waylon even spoke, you know, because Waylon Jennings was playing bass. And there was already I don't know that it was bitterness or anything. There was some kind of something there between my dad and Waylon.
Well, look, that has to be a life.
Yeah.
You know, not obviously.
And I played with Shooter, Waylon's son, and we didn't talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was different.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you talking a little bit about it.
I love talking about it.
I mean,
I think it deserves attention, and it's sad when you ask a kid that my daughter's a senior in high school. She knows who Buddy Holly is, and so does my son that's in 6th grade. But there's a lot of high school kids that they don't have a clue who Buddy Holly is. Oh, is that the Weezer song? You know, and it's like, well, no, but kind of, you know.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? As time goes on, we lose touch with some of these legends, but we shouldn't hear, as you say, in the big country, with the legacy that Buddy Holly gave all of us.
I think it should be, we should do some more with it.
Yeah.
You know,
we had Aaron Watson and his son Jake on the podcast not too long ago, and Aaron Watson talked about Buddy Holly and the importance. He did.
I like Aaron. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, it's just, we could, you know what? I want to right now invite you back for a whole other conversation about
Let's do that.
This.
Let's do that.
Fantastic.
And I'll try to promote a show at Billy Bob's.
Because
I got
you got a big show coming up at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, and we can talk about that.
And the good thing about Big Time Bash is it doesn't have anything to do with Austin Allsup.
Well, I don't know, because I think you're helping put it together and promote it.
I am, just as far as, you know, it's fun to be able to promote this.
Are you performing?
We're performing for our sponsors.
Okay.
The night before, we'll have a private show.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's real cool.
But no, I'm not on the bill. And Travis Fox is my partner on this. He's got a band, Callahan Divide, and has a studio in Clyde, Wonderland Recording. And so we've teamed up on this deal. Been working on it for about 6 months. Hard.
And it is aptly named Big Time Bash.
Big Time Bash.
It is a big time bash.
You know,
it's incredible. I mean, how many artists have you got?
We've got over 10.
Okay. I was going to throw a number out there, and I wouldn't have been far off. I was going to say 15. The list is impressive.
Well, and we're thinking about even squeezing maybe 1 or 2 more in there.
If you're wondering, I'm not available that night. If you're
wondering.
You
booked?
I'm booked.
I reached out to your agent. I should have called you.
She's teaching.
She's mad at you.
She's tied up.
He didn't take the trash out. He can't come.
Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. So, for those who haven't heard about it, just tell us what Big Time Bash is.
Big Time Bash is it's really kind of honor in motion. This is for military veterans, active duty military. I was born on Carswell Air Force Base. Fort Worth, Texas. My dad is Tommy Allsup, but my grandpa is Kenneth Croson, and my mama is Alice Croson, and my mama is Karen Croson. And so they raised me, and I grew up a Church of Christ Air Force brat. And we moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, right outside. My grandparents bought 10 acres. Right when you leave the back gate of the Air Force Base, there's Car Cove, and there's their land's right there. Couldn't get too far from that base, you know. So I grew up selling blue blockers and Desert Storm t-shirts at commissaries and BX centers at Little Rock, and anything that was military function, we were there. And I was probably in second grade when I learned how to run a engraver, and the pilots would come up with their blue blocker sunglasses, and they'd want their name right here. And so my papaw had this little etcher deal, and they had these little plates, and you line up all the letters like their name, and then you'd trace inside that letter.
Oh, that's great.
And it would do a little, engineering goo gadget thing over here and scribe it onto the lens.
And for people that may not remember, blue blockers were those sunglasses that
I think they're on a comeback.
Well, like they had the aviator look, and when you wore them, it was the weirdest thing. You could see different, but you can even see at night with these things.
I know.
It was a crazy deal.
It's like you had pilot eyes.
Those blue blockers. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, are you giving blue blockers away at Big Time Bash?
I've reached out to the folks at Blue Blocker, so we'll see if we can get some.
I love it.
Genuine ones.
I love it.
But I grew up surrounded by military, and since I became a performer and started getting some kind of notoriety, I realized that with my name and my gift, I was able to do things for other people other than myself.
Cool. That's cool.
And for monetary purposes. So I've been working with a foundation organization out of Fort Worth, DFW, called the Air Power Foundation. And they support many, many nonprofits, military nonprofits. And so when I moved out to Clyde, Texas, a few years ago.
I'll be Clyde, USA.
Clyde, America.
Yo, sorry.
Yeah,
oh, man, I blew it. I fumbled the ball at the one. God,
well,
dang it.
The Bulldogs wouldn't have done that, So,
sorry. That'd be Clyde, America.
That's right. So, moved out there, and I haven't really been touring and doing a lot of things, and I was wondering what can we do, and a gentleman approached Travis Fox, my partner on Big Time Bash, out of Baird, Jim Waldrop and Four Daughters Ranch, wanted to do a special concert, a homecoming event in Baird. And so Travis reached out to me, and I said, well, can we do how about like our nation's homecoming? I know it's Baird's homecoming. It's a lot of homecoming, different towns' homecoming, but what if we made it bigger than Baird and bigger than us and bigger than Travis Fox and Austin Allsup? We don't play. We work on really just making this something special. So that's what we've done. Well, I teamed them up with some friends at West Texas Rehab and Big Country Cares. Went out to Care Fest and met Reagan and Johnny and all the folks and Mackenzie and the folks at Country Care Resources. Asked them if they'd be interested in me introducing them to the Air Power Foundation, because what they do is they give money to other nonprofits. So what can we do out here? So we've got 2 new programs getting started up with West Texas Rehab and Big Country Cares. And that will be fueled and funded by the Air Power Foundation and fueled by the Big Time Bash. So Jim Waldrop and Four Daughters Ranch are going to do a nice donation to the Air Power Foundation at our event, and they're going to turn around and give it right back to our community. And I'm kind of getting a little emotional thinking about it, but
that kind of generosity is, it makes an impact in so many people's lives.
It's pretty incredible when you get out of your own way, what can happen, Yeah.
So if you buy a ticket to Big Time Bash, you know that it's going to
a good cause. Tickets are cheap, $25, and if you got a military ID,
there we go.
No ticket.
There we go.
Free admission.
There we go.
And that could be Joint Reserves, active duty, veteran. If you've got a ID, you're coming in for free on us. Enjoy the day.
And so if somebody's watching this and they, man, I'd like to go to that. Just tell us a few of the folks that are going to be performing.
We've got William Clark Green, who is a big country Well, I think he's from right here in the big country. He's from Eastland. Is Eastland big country?
Yeah, Eastland's big
Okay,
country.
all
Yeah,
right, all right.
Yeah, in fact,
I'm from Fort Worth, so I don't know.
yeah, no, Eastland's big country. Eastland counts.
I don't want to get beat up when I walk out of here now.
No, man. And the good folks in Eastland, Eastland and Breckenridge are in our DMA designated areas of coverage here for the TV stations, and they're kind of a little bit competition cities, Eastland and Breckenridge.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I've gathered that from Clyde Sports, and I've coached Little League and All Stars, and so.
But they're all, at the end of the day, it's kind of like brothers. We may argue, but don't argue. Nobody from the outside can argue with my brother, right?
That's right.
So yeah, and so he's from Eastland.
Yeah, he's from Eastland.
You've got some homegrown talent.
We got homegrown talent. We've got Dexter and the Moonrocks, who they're on a huge rise right now. I mean, they're opening for a band called the Red Clay Strays, who's pretty well blown up on a national, worldwide level at this point over the last year. So we've got those guys. We've got, if you remember a band, No Justice, they are kind of coming back out and doing some shows with Cooter Graw. They just played Billy Bob's, and they did the Cooper's Barbecue in Cristobal a few weeks ago. And
it's a great venue right there. Cristobal and Cooper's. Yeah, that's great.
I love some Cooper's Barbecue too.
Yeah, it's a good cue.
Yeah.
Good cue.
So we've got those guys. We've got Jesse Raub Jr., who's just got off doing some shows with Cody Johnson. I think he's got a new song out with Cody Johnson.
And so how will this happen? If you buy your ticket, you can come as early as...
You can come as early as noon, and you can leave throughout the day. Just don't take your wristband off.
And then you can come back.
Because it's a long day.
Yeah.
But bring your kids.
But yeah, I was about to say, it's a family deal,
10
right?
and under are free. And this whole thing, we've got Boyd Fencing coming out to do all of our fencing. We're going to have every bit of this thing fenced off. If your kids get out from under you, don't worry. Go talk to a volunteer. My kids are going to be running around. I know Travis's kids are going to be running around. We want this to be, we want it to be to where you feel like, okay, well, this is just a big family out here is all this is.
And you can accommodate a whole lot of folks, I'm sure.
We'll be able to accommodate several thousand people. Yeah. And we've got,
expect that, I'm sure.
We do. We've got over a dozen food trucks coming in. I just got off the phone with the Commemorative Air Force Foundation. I'm waiting on the details to come through right now on my email, but I just found out we are going to do a silent auction for a flight in one of their commemorative bomber planes.
Wow.
And we're going to give 2 veterans a flight in this bomber plane.
I love that.
We've got a military circa 1880, a little restaurant there in town. They're going to donate it to us and let us host a little military appreciation deal. We got the Railhead Tavern. They're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. They built a big tiki bar for outside. I've got Lone Star Dry Goods and the Ice House, Ted from over there, and Brent. They're setting up a beer bar for me with Bill Reed. We got a beer truck on site, we're not doing coolers, and we're not doing bring your own bottle or anything, because it's a family deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm guilty as the next guy. If I got my own cooler full of beer, well, I might drink every one of them, but if I got to go over there and spend money every time, but we've got everybody agree. We're not going to overprice on our beer. And it's going to be reasonable, plenty of food. It's going to be fun.
And when you talk about food, I think you've got a whole bunch of food trucks coming.
We got over a dozen.
Yeah.
I mean,
and some of this for the kids too. I saw where our friends over at Bahama Bucks are going to be.
Oh
there.
Yeah,
so that's fun.
Yeah, and then I don't have to drive from Clyde and bring a truckload of my son and his buddies over here to Bahama Bucks in
Yeah.
Abilene to get them a snow cone.
Shout out to Dodd Roberts, owner of Bahama Bucks. Dodd, you're a good guy, and I'm glad you're a part of this. So,
We've got a lot of good people involved.
oh, you do. And I was going to say,
community.
you've really got some fantastic sponsors.
We've got,
And I know I want to give you a chance to talk about them because I know you're proud of them.
I am, especially being new here, and I'm like, I'll call Ted Evans that owns Lone Star Dry Goods. He's a good friend of mine. And I'm like, hey man, we just got, Jeff Luther Construction came on board. And he's like, how in the world did you get Jeff Luther? And I'm like, well, my buddy Jim Waldrop, and he's like, and then I'm like, well, and then Jeff Luther's like, hey man, we're sending some more people your way. And Black Plumbing calls me, and then we've got Radon Incorporated out there building us. You got to see the parking lot that they have. I mean, we've cleared out 4.5 acres of just junk scrub brush that next to the railroad tracks there that's been there for years. Man, it's a beautiful parking lot now.
I was going to ask you, is it going to be easy to find and easy to park?
It's going to be easy to find, easy to park. The parking maps are going up this week on our website, bigtimebash.com and Facebook. But we've only had to build 20 maps for our vendors and security and everybody. So we finally got everybody lined out, infrastructure, bands, everybody's taken care of. So now we're about to put out our maps for everybody to know where they can go park. Because it is, people are like, where are you doing this? In Baird, Texas, or right in the middle of town. The folks at the city, Gloria and Lori, and they've been so kind and generous and just, what do you need, and so we're closing down Baird, and it's going to be a big time. And we've got, can I go through our sponsors real quick,
Please
man?
do.
Because
100%.
we've got Four Daughters Ranch that's and Project Whitehorse that started this whole initiative. And then they brought on Jeff Luther Construction and my friend Don Mark there, who's just been tremendous in helping us move forward with this thing. And we got Radon out there building a parking lot. We've got Black Plumbing. We've got Bacher Services. The Railhead Tavern even came on board there, a local Baird restaurant. They said, hey man, we're going to have a big day. We like what you're doing. We want to give back to you. That was pretty cool. We got Circle P Electric, Boyd Fencing, Colton Boyd and his dad over there have been awesome. I mean, they have
good people,
dude. Yeah. And then I heard his commercial on the radio that he had a new kid, and I'd been talking to him like 3 or 4 times on the phone, and I heard his commercial, and I was pulling into Sam's over there, and I called him. I said, hey dude, I didn't know you're a new dad. And he started laughing. He's like, yeah, I am. I was like, well, I just heard your commercial and I don't need any more fencing. I just wanted to call and tell you, he started laughing. He's like, man, we're looking forward to the big time, bro. And so we've got them involved, and we've got Caldwell Banker. We've got Hanner Chevrolet. They came on. They were one of our first sponsors.
Now you talk about bedrock good people right there in
Bro,
man. They are just gold.
They have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're coming out. First Bank. We've got 2 20-foot jumbo screens coming out too.
Oh, that's good. I was going to ask you about how the stage would be set up.
So we've got 2 big stages outside, and they'll be facing each other right in the middle of the street.
All right.
And so we've got a day stage.
You got a little miniature Coachella going on here all of a sudden.
We've got this is going to be legit,
but
man.
not the emphasis on miniature. It's pretty big.
It's going to be big. Yeah, we've got those 2 outdoor stages going. They're going to look great, man. We just got all the banners back, with our sponsors' logos. We wrapped the whole stages. They're going to look great. We've got the indoor stage at the railhead. We've taken over that whole stage, so we've got bands running in there. What's cool? You remember Johnny Cooper?
Yeah.
Me and him go way back, when he was cutting that very first album, and he was like hanging out with Ragweed and all them guys, and Mike McClure from Great Divide was producing him. And
man, you're talking some names now.
Mike's one of my best friends, and I thought the Great Divide was going to play, but they had to take another show, or Mike McClure took a show.
And that's what, real quick, I don't want to interrupt your story, but that's what people don't understand, how putting together an event like this is logistics on the ground.
Gosh.
But imagine the machinations of getting all the artists to come together on the same date.
They reached out to us the first week of May is when I found out about this. May 4th is when my first email went out. And we didn't get the roster finalized, and that's daily email grind, till the 1st of July. So, I mean, it was almost 2 months of grinding before you get this final template. Yeah, because you're reaching out to this management, and I know all these bands. Hell, I'm calling Will, and I'm like, hey, I'm about to call your guy. And Travis is calling the Dexter and the Moonrocks guys, and I'm calling this other guy. We still got to call your agent.
And the reality is the artist, because they've got to focus on their music and their craft, they don't manage their schedules quite often, and they don't know.
No.
They don't know if they're going to be in Texas on October 18th, much less can they be in Baird.
No. And, and I called, there was a lot of artists we talked to that were almost right there. There was, Wade Bowen, and we had Caitlin, but there was a number of them.
And that brings up yet another question. So do you get the feeling like, okay, this is a big deal. Our first one's going to be a great success. Do you already feel the pressure for number 2? You're thinking, we got to do number 2 next year here. And the second bigger time bash.
Yeah.
But is it not even time to think about that yet?
It's time.
You probably have a little announcement or something on October 18th, long about 11:59 p.m.
We've been talking to, I was talking to some of those artists I was just telling you about, and we're buddies. And like me and Stoney LaRue had a show. Oh man,
Stoney LaRue.
We had a show together.
About Stoney LaRue, big time with the West Texas Rehab Telethon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we tried to get him for this. Didn't work out with routing and all that, but his agent did throw another name at me, but it was a little too big maybe for the first big time bash.
All right. You want to save it for another conversation?
We're going to save it for another conversation.
All right.
But he is very loved here in Texas, and he's one of the hottest acts out right now. And so we've been talking with his guy.
Well, you have...
There will be a number 2.
You have a big deal going on.
It is.
And you're thinking already about a bigger deal going on in the future,
because
which is cool. It's cool to be early on in the grassroots of something that's going to be a big deal.
I'll tell you, the whole reason behind the thought is because it's, as much as I love Big Time Bash, because, I'm owner of it, me and Travis, but it's more about this little town. I live on 18, 7 miles from where this stage is going to be. My kids we run around there. I coach baseball, basketball. I've only been there 3 years, but I feel like I've lived there my whole life. And so I've really fallen in love with Clyde and Baird, and we're going to do something with those little towns. And Baird is ready to rock and roll on a few things. So besides what Big Time Bash, all Big Time Bash is doing right now is getting ready to for Baird to be big again. Because it's a neat little place.
It is a neat little place. And it's so interesting how these little towns have their niche. Up in Turkey, Bob Wills.
Love Turkey.
They've got that huge event for Bob Wills. So you've got that going on, and then you have the Renaissance and other small towns like Coleman has experienced, and like Breckenridge is planning and wanting to experience. And, you've got all these festivals in Eastland and all. It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
To see something like this in Baird, Texas.
And since we've started this, there is a different energy around that town.
It's great.
I can feel it when I pull in there, because I'm down there 3 times a day, whether it's talking to a local business owner saying, hey, we're going to make sure that your people can get over here and get their feed. We're not, we're closing the streets off, but we're doing this for you guys, And like Bolts and Barrels is a little hardware store there in Baird. You know, she's like, well, we close at noon. I said, well, not that day.
Yeah.
Keep them doors open
Yeah.
and fire up that popcorn machine.
There we go.
Sell them sodas you got in that refrigerator. You know, like this is for you guys.
And sidewalk sale time.
So, you know, that's really what this is about. It's promoting good folks.
Yeah. So I want to circle back before we conclude real quick. I want to make sure everybody understands this is Big Time Bash, Baird, Texas, Saturday, October 18th. It starts when and ends when?
Noon to midnight, and so you can come and go.
All kind of bands, all kind of beer and beverage and food for sale on site.
And we got some surprise things coming too.
So there we go, and a lot of family fun stuff.
Yeah, there is.
And if you don't have kids, it's a great opportunity to mingle and meet and hear great music.
Yeah,
and if you do have kids, you can mingle and meet.
And parents with your kids, you know, bring them out and then take them to the babysitter, or you know,
and come back. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
They get in free 10 and under. So if you're under 16, accompanied by an adult, we're just trying to protect everybody.
And bigtimebash.com. Travis will put that on lower CGs on screen as we're talking about it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
In fact, do this
right down here. Bigtimebash.com.
It's not your first rodeo.
Get your ticket.
So here we go. I love it. So I want to circle back real quick to your singing and playing. Because at the end of the day, though you're organizing this and producing this, you are an artist. And
Yes,
that's who you are. And you're a patriot. You are saying, look, proceeds are going to help military folks. And so 100 and military people aren't paying a dime to get into this thing. So that we need to make sure we say that.
That's right.
Do you think that let me tell you my prejudice about artists until you get your response. My prejudice is that you will not find better people that are more benevolent and giving than in the niche that you are in. Musicians and artists are always wanting to come together and collaborate and do something that's beautiful for a good cause. What will happen that night is you're creating something that's really going to be very beautiful, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you've done it different times, but you haven't done this yet.
Yeah.
And it's got to be so cool to be in the middle of that.
I'm so freaking stoked.
So I guess if there's a question there is, why do you do it? And how much do you love it?
I couldn't begin to sit here and tell you how much I love this. It would take me, you'd fall asleep over there. But music and what it's done for me in my life is pretty, it has saved my life. And I feel that that's why we artists do it, because at some point we were in despair, or there was something that got us so vulnerable that music was like, I mean, that was it. We had to have it for any kind of positivity in your life, you know. For me, that's what it is. You know, I'd be scared to death if I didn't do something good with it, because what if I wake up tomorrow and I can't sing, you know? I better, you know, I started singing in church. I've been singing for the Lord since I was a little kid. Before I even knew who my dad was, I had made, I don't know how many tapes, gospel. I was in a gospel quartet. I told you we lived outside Little Rock Air Force Base. We went to a big non-denominational church in Little Rock, and I got involved with the praise and worship team, and that's what I did. You know, I had a real tough childhood, and I think it helped with that. And I think that's why we want to do it, because we know what it can do. It's not just a song. You know, I've literally had people say, man, I was about to kill myself and your song came on and I put that damn gun back down. I've had people tell me, I haven't talked to my grandpa in 10 years and I listened to your grandpa's song and I called him, we went and had breakfast. That's why I wrote the song. You know, if I would have wrote it for the radio, I'd have quit 20 years ago.
It's funny, isn't it, to think about, really, honestly, that's God's work.
That's God's work.
That's where church and
I am not a
music
perfect
is.
man, but if I can somehow find forgiveness in my gift, I'll do it, you know?
Man, I love it. Man, I love it. Man, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
What a great thing. I tell you right now, I just envision a fantastic, memorable, for many people, a beautiful moment that's going to impact a bunch of folks' lives in Baird, Texas on October 18th. That's pretty daggum cool.
Thank you, man.
Pretty daggum cool.
It's cool. It's cool to be part of it.
Austin Allsup, what a pleasure. And you will be back, to talk all this other stuff.
Lighthearted. I'll bring a guitar next time.
Now we're talking. Yeah. Now we're talking. All right, so there it is, folks. Austin Allsup is here in this studio today. Don't know when you're watching or listening to this, but if it is around or before October 18th, get yourself to Baird, Texas, 12 to 12, noon to midnight, big time bash, Saturday, October 18th. I want to give a big shout out to our ace producer, Travis Corrigan, TCB, taking care of business. You know, that was Elvis's, there we go. That was his claim.
Yeah,
TCB.
and I'll tell you about Elvis and my dad, a couple stories on the next one.
I love it. Yeah. So, man, what a tease. What a tease. All right. So thank you for being here, Big Country Conversations. But I don't know. It don't matter. Abilene people, Big Country Conversations, Big Time Bash. This is a big time conversation today with Austin Allsup. I'm your host, Danny Sims, old enough to be called sir. And we really appreciate you. See you next time here on bigcountryhomepage.com.